the thing now. So the direct monitor option, there's two options. And there's a circle, and there's two circles next to each other. Currently, we're on circle.
Right.
So if for any reason this sounds like shit, we'll blame that.
And then next time we'll say it should be on two circles. The one circle just loops back around, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, like, it's kind of... I hate the sound of my own voice.
Yeah, me too. So much.
So it's like, why am I doing this? But yeah, so the idea, so this is the Nightcall podcast, or Nightcall, and it's kind of this is actually what our fifth attempt after we tried to go to and record it ambiently, like in the services.
Yeah.
And I don't know where we just have one mic and we were just trying to...
Yeah, and we all sat around it, and we all had to lean to...
It's like, hi.
Wait. someone else is... Hi.
Someone else talk. But yeah, it feels like... have you seen that meme where it's like, this is what progress looks like, and it's a mattress on the floor, and then the next frame is a bed and a mattress on the floor. This is it. This is our version of it.
Dudes live in an apartment like this and see no problem with it, you know?
Dudes podcast like this and seen it. I mean, the podcast setup is wild right now, which...
I like it. It's rich and authentic.
Exactly. I'm trying to be more like intimate about it, and just like... yeah, just as if we're just chilling and talking. It was like I kind of had the idea that like I'd start it and it would be as if I'm ringing you. Yeah. And I'd be like, hey man, how you doing? Yeah. And then we just talk about things. But
I don't think you've ever phoned me.
Yeah.
Just to be like, oh, what's up, man?
I have a genuine issue with phone calls. They fill me with anxiety.
Well, I was at my nan's today, and I for whatever reason, I got a phone call off one of my housemates, and I was like, oh my God, what's wrong?
Literally, it's like the first thing is like, luckily my phone's on Do Not Disturb at all times. even which is great. Even when like when I was working recently, my recruiter would ring me, I'd miss him, and then I'd call him back, and then he wouldn't answer, and then he'd go and ring me like twice, thinking I was right there, but I wouldn't answer because my phone's on Do Not Disturb. But yeah, like if a friend rings me, 9 out of 10 times I let it go to voicemail, and then text them. I'm like, "Are you okay?" Because I'm not ready for that conversation if it's like not the other way around. I have some friends recently who have been video calling me on like Instagram and stuff. And I'm like, I'm barely presentable. Like, what are you going to get ready for what you're about to see? Because
I only do that with people that are younger than me by at least 2 years. Because they do that all the time. So I'm like, they know it's coming. They're ready for it all the time, because they probably just got off a video chat with one of their friends. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, how's it going? You all right? And normally you can just see like above their nose right at the bottom of the frame, because they don't want to show anything else off until they realise that I also look like dirt. Yeah. And then, it's just Tom. Like, yeah.
It was like when I was on Snapchat, it was just like the top of my head.
Yeah, on every time.
Because I don't want...
right in the corner.
Just like the top of my hair. Like, so you know I'm there, but you don't see me. But yeah, like, there's a clear difference between being on a phone call and being in a Discord voice channel. Yeah. They're different things. Yeah. Entirely. Yeah. Because there's no pressure. There's no weird... You can just sit in a Discord call in silence, can't you?
You can sit in a... I mean, there's also a difference between not being in a Discord lobby, like, so you're alone,
Yeah.
or being alone in a Discord lobby. So like if someone pops in, oh, how's it going? Like, you can just go from there. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. I always feel like there's an unspoken pressure of like, because there's when the evening comes along and all the lads start to trickle into the Discord. They all start finishing work and they're like, different games are being played. There's always who's going to be the first person that's just going to sit in a Discord by themselves until someone else pops up. And at least like, cause I know when like my friend Kieran, when he does it, he just sticks the bot on. He's just in there by himself and he's listening to like some Boiler Room set, and you just turn up and it's like, oh yeah, you're listening to that Bonobo Boiler Room again, are you? And it's like, yeah. Do you want to play games?
I mean, I used to do that every time I was in Discord because I used to work at night. So when everyone would finish work, I would start work. So I'd be lucky if anyone came in during the afternoon when I was playing Minecraft on my own, on the public server. But I would just put on my favourite sets and then just get digging. And then, oh, is this the new, that person?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah. Then I'd leave.
We do have like a select amount of people who like religiously use the Discord bot, like the music bot. Like they're like, it's going on. Like I don't care if you're talking about something or if you're in a game. It's time for Discord. And then you've always got like, you have that really sad moment when you're like, oh mate, I love this bit, and then your mate's like, oh, I've got the bot muted, and it's like, oh.
And you're halfway through golf with your friends, so you can't just open up.
Yeah.
You can't turn it back on. I don't want to time out. I've got to make this hole.
Oh my god. Oh. It's me and Frood have been playing golf with our friends, just me and him.
He's really good.
Well, that's the thing, like, because I get made fun of for being too good at it. So he comes and we're like both like pretty good at it. And what we'll do is we'll do like a public session. So golf with your friends, context for anyone who's never, for the two people who are going to listen to this podcast. Yeah, hi mum. Yeah, like there's this whole, there's no way my mum's going to listen to this. I don't even know why I said that. But yeah, so golf with your friends is like a 3D kind of golf tournament where the tracks are made by the community. I mean, there are non-community tracks, but you never play them. And yeah, basically you'd basically host a game and 5 or 6 people would join in and you'd go and play golf, and like you don't hit each other or anything. And it's like a mini putt course, but online. So what me and Dan would do is we'd play solo and we'd play like a couple by ourselves, but it's very boring. So we'd leave it public. So these people start trickling in and it fills up and there's like 8 people in it. And we're playing random maps and stuff. And they're like, right, we've got them all here. Let's just annihilate them. So we play this course that's called Caverns Below. So it's basically each hole has a secret. That's a secret, like hole in one.
The classic.
And me and Dan know all of them to a T. So we're just getting hole in one after hole in one, and like everyone else in the game is like just sitting there struggling. They're getting like par sixes and stuff, and it feels cruel, but sometimes just before bed, that's what you need to just complete your day.
You just need that W.
Yeah, if I can't get a dub anywhere else, I'm getting it in golf with friends.
Yeah. It's I guess that's better than like just gaslighting people into believing they're bad at golf, because like they're just playing the game, right?
Yeah. They're just here for the vibes, They're not.
Golf with your friends. This is a nice, calm game, and these two guys just keep getting hold. I'm so angry.
We're just spamming in the chat.
Is it me?
Keep up.
Is it me? Am I bad at this game?
We're trying to trigger people's existential crisis. Like, if you play a game with me and Dan, you're uninstalling by hole 18.
You don't even have to play. You just have to speak to me. Oh my god.
We're like the we're literally those dickheads who do like the local par 3 but in a game. You know the ones that have got like a finance day 3 and like they wear like a full Fred Perry outfit, and
you're just there with your friends and they're like waiting behind you, and you're like, oh, you go ahead of us because clearly you're going to finish quicker than us. And they're like, no. But you finish. You take your time.
Yeah, we'll be here all day.
Yeah.
They're just putting the pressure and they're watching you.
Yeah. Oh, you're sweating after that. Yeah.
And they're just sitting there in their tight jeans.
I can't get into a Rolls Royce after that.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a Rolls Royce. It's more like a Ford C-Max. But a really good one. A really good one.
Like...
or a Volvo.
Or like a Range Rover Evoque.
Oh, it's the Evoque.
Yeah.
It's always the Evoque.
And it's their mums. 100 out of 100 times.
Customized number plates. You can't see it's really just like an 09.
Oh, yeah. That's what I'm thinking of doing with the BMW. I don't want anyone to know my BMW's from 2006. So I'm just going to change the number. One, I'm going to get a tinted number plate, and 2. And then it's going to say, what is it? Eat my dust, but the E is a 3. But it's not like road dust, it's just diesel smog.
Eat my smog.
Eat my smog. Fuck off Greenpeace or something like that. Fuck off Greta Thunberg.
Sharon. You're not going to get anyone chasing after you if you do that as well.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think you will.
I mean, no one chases after me anyway.
I'll chase after you.
Oh, yeah, but I just can't imagine like that insufferable type of person to just ever be involved in my life. That, the golf on the weekends, like financed car, custom number plate. I'm just like, I'm all about no judge, like a judge-free zone here, but that's pushing it,
Well, like that's what golf with your friends is supposed to be about, but you're just destroying these randomers on there. Like you're supposed to go into golf with your friends and just be like, oh, let's just putt some balls and chew the fat and make sure the boys are okay.
Well, maybe the reason the boys aren't coming on is because me and Dan have taken it too far. But I don't know, man. Like sometimes I just have to be good at something and I can't help it.
Do you have that like fear of failure? So like because I was thinking about this walking down here for some reason, and like I never push the boat out with things because I've never been criticized for doing anything because I've never experienced it before. And now I'm an adult, I'm really scared of it, if you know what I mean. So like if I was to like do a gig, right, I would be so scared if someone, even if just one person didn't like it, because I've never had someone, because I've never done anything like performative before, ever. I don't know what it's like to have someone say, oh, that was terrible, you suck, and it frightens me to the point of just still not doing it. Yeah.
Like I always when I mix, for example, when I'm just in my house by myself, listening to my music, I'm like, this is sick. But then for the next 2 transitions, I will imagine the fact I'm like, even just performing at like the local pub, a Bull Stock, for example, and I'm like, oh, I already know. Like in my head, I'm like, if I just beat mash that slightly wrong, or if I pick a song that's just not like. Not even close to like even just slightly off vibe, if like, because the biggest DJ advice I always hear is like play to your audience. I don't know I don't know the audience, like.
I mean, I do the exact same thing, and you do. There's so many moving parts, especially with mixing. You got to get the right tracks. You got to mix it well. You've got to like put the set list in order properly as well. And like you say, if I had done that in front of people, even in front of like 5 or 6 of my closest friends, I would be sweating and like just so nervous.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be able to do it. Even if they're like, this is pretty good. Like,
oh yeah, it's like even just the combination of just so I did last year, you know, that like that brief part of summer where there wasn't really any lockdown.
Yeah.
I had some friends who they were doing these camp outs every couple of weeks, and I was like, I didn't really know them very well, but I was like, I'll bring I've always wanted to play to like a kind of audience, because I only really play to myself. I haven't even recorded a mix at this point, and I was like, I'll bring my decks out to this random field, and they were like, I was like, the pressure came off because they were like, yeah, we're just gonna be like on drugs, you know, we're gonna be high, so don't like, we're not gonna be like. And I was like, okay, cool, judge free vibes. And I was like, I turn up and like I remember. You just mix like safe stuff, you know, like stuff that I know that's just gonna like have some head bobbing. I was going off a friend of mine who you know when you just respect someone's taste in music. Yeah. And I respect his taste in music. So if his head was bobbing, I knew I was on to good things. Yeah. And so we just carried on mixing into the night. And I just got like in the element of just reacting to him, not realizing a group of the girls had like walked off. And like a little while later, I found out that they had to leave because they were on mushrooms. Or was it mushrooms or was it something else? And they were like, we didn't like the space music. And instantly, I just was like, I was like, fuck, oh no, I'm never DJing ever again. Like, I never want this type of, like, that would never, like, if you were performing, if you imagine you were just at, like, Club 85 or something, and, like, or, like, Ozinski's, and, like, a group of people walked out, would you kick off? Like,
so if I was at Club 85,
I was like, what did you want?
Playing, you know, in quotation, space music. Yeah. Oh, and people were walking out. I'm like, fine. Go listen to your new age earth music.
Yeah, go put your ground music on, nerds.
Fuck you. I'm going to space and I'm going to play this.
Yeah, we're going to the astral realm, bro. Come catch us. We're going cosmic. We've got cosmic beats right now. I think all that I put on, and I knew I was pushing it, but like, you know, like when you're on YouTube and you just type in Slav House. Yeah. The first song comes up as Decompression by Harrison BDP. Yeah. So I was like, that's a safe song. Mm-hmm. Like, it's got like a couple million views. And I was like, yeah, like, this has just baited me out as I only get my house recommendations from the YouTube recommended section. But, so I put that on and I was just like, it has that distant, like, echoey synth in the background. Yeah. And that must have just like, now like, yeah, we felt like we were in a spaceship and we couldn't deal with it. So we had to go for a walk. And I was like, oh, okay. But part of me was like, it's like getting dumped, you know? I was like, oh.
Well, when I lived away and I was picking up some friends from a party after work, because I was like, I can't come, I'm at work, but I'll pick you guys up and we'll go home afterwards. And I picked them up and I was playing some Square Pusher in the car. And there was, they were pretty intense, yeah. And they're like, I feel like I'm
Turn off the Square Pusher, you're scaring the hose.
They're like, I'm in a simulator. This is, because they were all in my car. I put the bass up on it as well. And they loved it. It was like you're in one of those 4D things you get. And yeah. And I wasn't expecting that, but I would never ever play Square Pusher on like a house set or anything like that. Yeah.
Can you imagine? Beep Street. No, same thing. So when I used to go climbing, like, religiously, like back in 2019, I'd always, to hype myself up for climbing, it'd have to be like tech house or even like like drum and bass, breakcore, something like that. But when I was in the car with my friend Mitchell, I was always like, there's a threshold of what I can get away with before he starts getting weird about, like, it's like, what are you put on?
Yeah.
Because he's your mate who has like heart radio starred on his dashboard, on his car, like just default heart radio, or like Kiss FM if he's feeling adventurous, you know.
If it's a Friday.
If it's a Saturday, Sunday. But I remember just one day I just got too insecure and I was like, he probably hates everything I put on, and I'm so embarrassed. And he was like, he was like, do you want to connect your phone, put on your elevator music? And to be honest, I can't even be mad.
Are you getting an elevator to like the Berghain basement or something like that? Because I wouldn't have, you know, like, sort of like acid house, you know, in a lift. Like, that's too much, you know.
I don't know. It depends on the lift, but
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah, I get the same thing with my girlfriend because I can't play most of my library around her. I'm easing her into a lot of stuff, but when I played like a lot of noise-based tracks, like she's like, "Oh yeah, I love listening to noise." I'm like, "Well, technically, all music is noise, and you know what? It's my car."
Yeah.
And if we're driving in her car, she can't change it. She's driving, you know. I can just put it back. God. Yeah. So, who's laughing now?
I used to see this girl from Birmingham, you know, the dreaded. But I remember distinctively, and I'm so self-aware at this point where, like, if anyone's in my car, I'm like, if it's for like a long trip, it's like, you guys can put music on. So don't, like, because I will autopilot and just put on like some just underground like IDM mix that I found on YouTube that has like 20 views, and is like not beat matched or something, and it's like, oh yeah, but it's on purpose, you know, it glitches on purpose. No, it's supposed to buffer, you know. And but I was literally, when I go on like a long drive. She was from Birmingham, so we were driving back from mine to hers, and in this 2-hour drive, when it's just me, I just listen to the entire discography of Boards of Canada, start to finish. And it's, you know, it's a walk.
Yeah, but that's really relaxing.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was just like in this, and it took like, I think it was like an hour and a half into the drive, so the last half hour of the drive, she just was like, can we put something on with words? Or just something like that. And I just remember just like, it just feels like it feels like you've been shot. You know? It's
always words. They always want words.
Yeah.
I got two words for you. Yeah.
Get out.
Fuck off.
Get out of the car.
That's 4 words.
No, duck and roll. Just push her out. Open the door and just push her out. Rolling down the side of the M4.
Good.
Good.
Fuck your words.
Yeah. Boards and Canada only. Forever.
Music has right, children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have the right to my children.
Music does. Music does.
Music does.
Yeah, you don't. What's your top 3 Boards of Canada tracks?
Oh God. See, this is just. So now we're literally talking about things which I don't talk about around my friends because I know no one cares. And now we're talking about it in a podcast.
Well, I care.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's nice. It really depends on like how I'm feeling, but like definitely one of the ones that got me into them was Olsen, but version 3. That implies that there is a version 2. I don't think there is. But there's Olsen, and then on the I think it's on the Peel session, there's Olsen version 3, where the synths are a lot deeper, there's a lot more bass to them, so the sound profile's really like warm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like a loyal contender. Funnily enough, off the new album, the very deep name for the song, Nothing Is Real, has quite a nice, I don't even know how to explain the melody, but it's kind of like, it's very reflective when you listen to it. It's like you're looking back on stuff. And then my most played, which I don't know if I can count as my favorite, because it's literally like, the reason it's my most played is that it's like under a minute long. So I just loop it and I'll just listen to it for ages. Yeah. Is, I think, I can't remember exactly. They start to muddle up because they're all very similar. It's like Over the Telegraph Lines or something. It's on the, I don't even know the name of the album as well. It's just the, I would tell you to get it down, but like,
in a beautiful place.
No, the other EP, Trans Canada Highway or something like that. Can you see the one? I need to know now. It's going to bug me. It's the one that has like white and black next to him. Him.
Trans Canada Highway.
Is actually perfect. I'm a number one fan. True fan. But yeah, it's across, and it's just this weird. I remember when I first listened to it, it reminded me of a dream.
Yeah.
I might, for copyright purposes, I might just try and like cut it in here.
Yeah.
But if you don't hear it, it's because I don't want to get copyrighted.
I think you can use like 5 seconds of it.
I don't know. Just a wall of synth.
But I think it's weird that you can remember music from dreams. Like you can dream music.
Well, it's not. It's less that I dream music. It's that, and if it's only really with Boards of Canada, sometimes it's other stuff. But the reason I love is that it seems to. They're like, you know, the Dream Man. Do you know that guy where it's like everyone has seen him in his dream? Like Boards of Canada is the same kind of energy for me, where it's like I listen to them. And they just seem to be soundtracks to dreams that I've had, you know?
A lot of Boards of Canada can be like backroomsy as well.
Yeah, and it's like, I mean, I know because the whole thing is that it's low fidelity. It's supposed to be like nostalgic and like seems to be this air of that they are trying to replicate memories, you know, in terms of sound. So they've used a lot of like samples for that. But yeah, like, I think there's a select few which literally remind me of specific moments in dreams. And the one that one does reminds me of this dream I had where I just remember seeing the sun setting behind a tree line. And I know where the tree line is in real life. It's in Suffolk somewhere, where I used to go. We used to stay at this mill in Butley, Suffolk, or Butley in Norfolk maybe, and we just went on this walk around the general area, and there was just like this tree line, you know, where like a farm starts, where there's all this like nice, like it's like a fir forest, and then there's nothing because then there's fields, and it was that sort of tree line, and then the sun was setting, and I don't know, it's like I listened to it like compulsively for like 3 days.
That's extremely vivid.
Yeah,
that's extremely vivid because the only sort of like audio visual thing I've had in a dream before that I can remember, I remember when I used to get sleep paralysis quite a lot, and when I'd be paralyzed, my alarm would go off on my phone. This was one time, and when you have sleep paralysis, you sort of like a lucid dream, but it's not a dream. It's quite intense and very anxiety inducing and whatnot. So because my alarm was going off and I could hear it because my phone was close to my head, it was like I was on a TV show and the sound was coming from every direction. I couldn't see where it was coming from. What I could do was hear it, like ringing in my ears. It was really scary. God,
yeah. Like, if we want to go down this rabbit hole, it reminds me. So I have these compulsive dreams, like constantly. It's also about a monkey. But it's like an orange monkey, but the hair on its head covers its eyes. And I'll have this, and I'll be dreaming about anything. It could be completely different. Yeah. And then I'll hear this monkey, like, and I'm like, I know it's going to appear at any point. And then it does appear. And I remember one of the distinctive ones, I was standing, like in my dream, I was standing in the kitchen, looked through to the garden, and he was in the garden.
Oh my God.
And I saw him. And as soon as I see it, it's like, looks straight at me and then charges me. And as soon as it gets to me, it like tackles me and I wake up.
I don't have like a sort of recurring theme, but I have a recurring dream where it's like first person view, so I can't see myself. It's like, you know, I can see what I can see from eyes, because, you know, some people witness themselves in dreams. Yeah. I'm riding a BMX through like a woods.
Nice.
And I go up a really like quite a big ramp for a jump, and there's a pit just as I land full of stinging nettles and like loads of really like dangerous plants. And as soon as I land in it, I wake up like, you know, like that.
Oh,
oh my God. And it got to a stage where that would happen like 2-3 times a week. And I was like, there's something that, you know, I'm trying to tell myself. But I don't know what it is. There's also, I have, and this one's quite self-explanatory, but I have very vivid and intense dreams of me like really like going to town on someone, you know, like beating the shit out of them.
I've had that recently.
And when I realised that's happened, I'm like, okay, clearly like I need to speak to this person because there's something I need to get off my chest, or that they've done to me recently that's made me feel like this about them. I'm trying to think, like, so when I've had that when I've been like protecting people in dreams, which is quite a new thing for me. So maybe I've been an asshole up until this point, but like in the past, I mean, to be fair, I used to get a lot of dreams about being beaten up. That was very common, but this is the first time I've actually been like strong in my dreams. Yeah, nice.
You know, when you like run away and you have that, like, your legs stop working in a dream, you know, you're trying to run. Do you ever get that?
I get that in real life.
You just try to run, your legs are like, no.
Why didn't I drive?
Can't call a cab. In my dream.
I can just fly. I'm in a dream. What am I doing?
I'm literally like, you have that like lucid moment where it's like, I'm literally omnipotent right now. I can do anything. But you like the big bad guys coming towards you, you try and run and you end up accidentally tripping over or running into them somehow. But I've seen a dream therapist. Well, I was seeing a therapist who she specified in the study of dreams.
Wow.
And I don't want to like, I think the whole interpretation of dreams is purely a psychological thing in itself on top of that. I don't think dreams are ever really telling you anything. I just think you can interpret dreams in a way that you can subconsciously realize certain things you didn't know before that dream.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of the repeating stuff, like, I guess some of it's like really obvious, like teeth falling out. That's like a very common thing, which I hadn't had until actually recently as well. So you ever had it where your teeth just fall out in your dream?
No.
So I've had it recently where like 2 of my front teeth just came out. And there was like blood everywhere. And I remember it was really weird, but I'm not going to butcher what the reason is that you have it, but I'm pretty sure it's something strange, like you're insecure about an event coming up. That is what's interpreted by it. And yeah, I don't know. But another one is there's a lot of rage in your life, and I've had this a lot, which is red skies in my dreams. Like it's a pretty sad dream, but I remember it very vividly, and I get a lot of vivid dreams recently because of the medication I'm on. But this one specific one happened like a year or 2 ago. I was dreaming, it is a bit tragic, but we'll go into it anyway, that I was married and like I was in love, you know, like life was perfect. It's like that, like the honeymoon phase of just life. But I remember specifically like this girl that I'm married to, she never really had like an appearance. like she was constantly shifting the way she looks. Like I can't pinpoint who exactly it was. So sorry to anyone who was in my life hoping to be that person. You weren't it, because it was like, I remember it being, have you seen the Black Mirror episode White Christmas?
Yeah.
And you know when you block someone and they were that weird blur?
Yeah.
It looks, that's how I kind of remember it as. And I remember, the ending is really sad. Yeah. But basically, I'll say it anyway, just because, tragedy is tragedy. You can't just like not say it now. Mm-hmm. But I do regret a bit bringing this up. But so we're just driving along, and like I'm in my dream car as well. That's another thing. Like I'm like,
it's a dream. It's a dream. Everything.
Exactly. My dream car is not like a Lamborghini. It's just a Toyota Corolla. Like the A86. Yeah. True. I was like, deja vu. I was literally like drifting. No, I wasn't actually, but I could have been. And she was riding shotgun, and then I remember we pulled up. It was like a council estate. We pulled up in this council estate, and it was like still like the vibes were monumental. I was just so happy. And as we were sat in the car, I think we were about to get jiggy. Start to get a bit spicy, and the spice levels were rising. And then this ambulance boxed us into this car park we were in. And I was like, what's going on? And I got out of the car, and I didn't realize there was a car parked next to us. And the exhaust pipe had like a pipe coming out of it into the back window. And I got out, and the ambulance was rushing over, and they were going over to the car, and they smashed the window, and they pulled this guy out. And I went over to look at this guy, and it was me. And I was just like, and then like I third personed myself. So I saw me standing over myself. And then I looked up, and it was red sky. And then like I just woke up straight away. Like like that shock. Like,
oh my God.
And I remember like I literally like I got up, and I was like, I don't think I have any choice to like I will never forget that anyway, but still I remember I had to write it down so I could tell my therapist. And she was just like, you're fucked, mate. Nah, I actually can't remember how she interpreted it, but there's multiple ways I guess you could even see what that's like. But yeah, man, dreams are powerful.
I envy people that can remember their dreams, because every time I have a dream, I wake up and I'm like, oh, that was an interesting dream. And then by the time I got out of bed, I'm like, wait, what was that dream about? Like, or like, it's in the middle of the night and you have like a jump scare one, and then you're so tired, you're like, you can't even be fucked to like acknowledge it. So you're like,
fuck off.
And just go straight back to sleep. Yeah.
So you can't scare me.
Yeah, honestly. There's like someone in my room. Yeah.
So
why won't you die?
Mom, I'm scared. And then by the time your mum comes to check on you, it's back to
Tom, you're like 30 now, like.
Tom, you're 45, move out. How did you get in here?
I don't
You're just sleeping on the sofa.
The new sofas are buff though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I approve. Yeah. Good sofas.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I'm trying to. We got our sofas restuffed.
Oh, it's nice.
I mean, you'd think though.
It needs like an incubation period.
Yeah, you need to reset them. Yeah. You need to get them going again. To be honest, I just want to replace our sofas. There's a sofa. I have a dream sofa. I don't know if people do. What a fucking tangent. But I want to say I need to stop. That makes me clip, so I keep tutting and into the mic and it clips it.
Yeah.
But there's a sofa. I don't want to butcher the name. I think the designer's Pierre Hardin, something like that. It's called the Dune sofa, and Frank Ocean has one. And
oh, there we go.
They're like $30,000 if like retail, but then because they're so desirable, but they're basically like. There's a modular sofa that are like waving sand dunes.
Oh, nice.
and you can adjust the sand dunes basically to how you want. Like they split off into different cubes, and you can reattach them again. But it just like it basically turns into this, like you can have it. It's just this big pit or like a giant L.
I think I know what you mean.
Yeah. Like kind of like a conversation pit.
My girlfriend and I, we always talk about like, oh, you know, when we buy a house, this, when we do this, that, you know, and like our furniture wise, we want like vintage, like dark, like forest green sofa. We want a Smeg fridge. And have you ever seen a Smeg fridge in real life?
Yeah.
Wow.
S-tier fridges.
Yeah, honestly, like, yeah.
Yeah, I can't.
And then like
I can't remember who I saw that had one, but yeah, real.
Welcome mat that's frog themed, and it says, "Welcome to our pad."
Okay, yeah, iconic.
Yeah, that's a bit of her. I'm not too fussed about frogs. I think frogs are really having like a moment right now.
Frogs are on trend.
If you're bisexual, you love frogs.
That is the law.
Yeah.
The law is if you do like frogs and you're unsure about your sexuality, we've just figured it out for you.
I mean, frogs, they're quite cool to hold. When it rains, they come out and you can pick one up, and they kind of just stare at you, flexing.
Yeah, like they're about, like they're just jacked on trend, and they're like ready to fucking. If I was any bigger,
you're going down.
I'd have you.
Yeah, but they don't, because they're little froggies, and then you let them go.
Yeah, well, I have a recent frog story. I mean, I say it's a story. It's not really that interesting.
Is it about frogs?
Yeah. Well, so my nan's house, right? She's got a pond in one corner, but then the next closest pond is the other side of the garden in the next garden.
Yeah.
So my nan's got quite a long L-shaped garden, and as a kid, the frogs would go between these two ponds down the side of the fence. And my kid, like, if you're like, oh, what are we going to do this spring? Oh, we're going to go and fucking catch frogs in the garden. And they'd all go along this fence. And you just literally wait there, and one of them you just see like hopping along.
Yeah.
Like, oh, there you go, in the bucket. We collect like 7 of them and then chuck them all in this tiny bucket and watch them fight it to the death. And that,
oh my God.
No, obviously not, but try and make like a little frog pad, you know, vibe.
Yeah.
Recently I was at my nan's and we were playing I think just bowls or something, and the bowl went into the bush.
Yeah.
And I moved the bush out of the way, and I'm talking like I haven't seen so many frogs in my life, and my back just like I saw all these frogs, and I was like I thought I was gonna throw up, like because there were just loads of them, and it was like you just see all the shiny skin. So now I'm like, I think I've given myself a fear of frogs, so I'm kind of scared that if I see a frog again, like involuntarily, like if someone
hey, do you want to see something cool?
Yeah.
I'll show you a frog.
If someone shows me a frog against my will, I will kick off. Like if I can pursue the frog myself, it's all
I haven't
good
consented to looking at this frog.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. You can't show me a frog without my consent, like by law, you know, because it will traumatize me.
I don't have any cool frog stories. I think, you know, it's just when they rain and you can look for them. Yeah.
I think you only have a few.
Yeah. I mean,
in your life.
Well, I'm a fuckboy for frogs. I've got several frogs on the go at once. Yeah. A frog will never tie me down. I don't have a pond where I live, so I don't really get them, but we get a load of like snails and slugs, and when I walk home late at night and it's rained, I always leave the torch on to make sure I don't step on them, because when you step on a snail and that's just the worst feeling.
It's grief,
like, isn't it? Not only is like my shoe fucked now, but like I've just killed something. Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't even mean to.
It's the snails when you hear the crack.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh, like if you don't sigh after you've just stepped on a snail, like there's something wrong with you, you know, like that's.
I don't know if this is just like a me thing.
I'm just mourning all the.
If like
snail death,
I accidentally like drown a moth in the shower, or I step on a snail, like just hypothetically, I am always like, oh fuck, I feel really guilty because I imagine that moth or snail or whatever it is to have like nuclear family,
Yeah.
and they can all speak and like they
Yeah.
all, where is he? He hasn't come back. He's dead. Like, you
He
know,
hasn't
like,
come back from the sink.
Yeah, I get traumatized by the thing. I've just destroyed a family
Oh man.
by accident.
Yeah, I'm literally the same.
Yeah.
Like which is funny because you just kill things every day. But like
Those microbes I breathed in. Oh no!
oh no, that bacteria I just washed off my hands.
Well, if you wash away the rest of the bacterium family, Mr. and Mrs. Bacterium, if they're both dead,
I mean,
they can't miss each other
we commit bacterial genocide
all the time.
especially in this day and age.
Yeah.
You know, like, should we be killing the coronavirus? Like, isn't that technically inhumane?
I haven't heard coronavirus complain about it, so
Yeah, true. And they keep varying anyway.
they should unionize.
They got storm.
What do we want?
They're gonna storm the Capitol.
What do we want? A new variant. When do we want it?
Now. Why? Yeah. How about the how about the virus? They protest in London about their well-being, not all of these anti-maskers.
No, like, the restrictions were lifted today. Let's protest about the restrictions.
Yeah.
They were lifted today. We don't want them.
Yeah.
We don't want them. Get rid of them. We did. I don't care. You can't hold me down.
No more alcohol gel.
You're killing the good bacteria as well, you know.
Oh my god.
I drink plenty of Yakult. All right, don't even start.
The bioactive.
I have a pint of Yakult every day.
I eat dirt every morning to keep my immune system in check. Like, just out of my plant pot. Like, I just swig it down.
Yeah.
You know, you can get, like the little, when you buy like a multivitamin, it's in a capsule.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just get the capsules and you stick a little bit of dirt in there. Oh, sink that. Boom. Immune system restored.
Yeah. Go to the bar. What do you have?
Dirt in a capsule.
Have a double dirt and lemonade, please.
Double dirt. Are you driving?
No.
Okay, good. All right.
No ice. No ice.
No.
No ice.
No.
I don't. I said no ice. Oh no, sorry. I that's a lemon. Silly me.
Do you have limes?
Why would you put lemon with dirt?
Just a bit of a zest. Dirt's quite earthy. You know.
Lemonade's offsetting that though. It's real nice balance of flavour.
Yeah, I guess.
On the rocks. No ice.
Literally.
No ice.
You can have a glass of water on the rocks, no ice.
It's the umbrella that makes it on the rocks.
Oh yeah, I literally was like, what did he mean by this?
I don't even know.
Is it raining?
It is in my town, baby.
It's just we
live in the same town.
Yeah. I mean, I say that. I was sitting in the field the other day having a socially distanced meet up with a friend, and then we were just watching the world go by, and this rain front came in and stopped halfway on the field. One half of the field dry, other half of the field rain. I feel like that's one of those things you Google when you're like 8 and you're like, I wonder if that exists. And there's like some YouTube video.
I always imagine like when rain clouds like form and move, they do just like tip rain constantly with no wind. Yeah. They would just fall straight down underneath the cloud and then move as the cloud moves. Yeah. That's how I thought it worked.
I mean, I mean, that's not a weird thing to think that's how it works. Like, that's kind of more or less how it does.
Yeah, but like they always come at a certain direction, don't they?
Oh yeah, there's the rain and then obviously the pressure. Like, clouds don't always, sometimes they need to go over a mountain. Is that it?
And then, well, obviously heavier clouds go lower, and the lower they are, the heavier they are. So the more likely it is to rain.
Well, is it like, God, some geography person's going to fucking kick off, but isn't it if a heavy cloud, like if it reaches like a high, like a high land area, I'm just thinking this is in like the mountains specifically, because that's where all the diagrams are. But if it just can't get over it, it just rains, doesn't it? Because you can get like rain in the valley, but the mountaintops are dry, can't you?
I have no idea. I'm not a geologist.
Not a geographer.
I'm not a historian.
I'm not a chemist.
I'm not Tom Cruise.
No, it's meteorology, isn't it? But it's actually nothing to do with meteors.
It's the weather, mate.
Weatherology.
The term is weatherman.
The weather is time.
It's time to... No, the weather's fine.
Jewel. See, we didn't even talk about the things I wanted to talk about.
But how this podcast is going to work.
I mean, we kind of addressed it.
Very early on.
So the podcast, so if you're still here, if you're still watching,
and
listening. So the podcast it's called Nightcall. And basically it's an excuse for me to just chat complete shit for an hour and put it on the internet. But no, like the underlying thing is I want to talk to the guest, who will remain unnamed unless they want to be named, with every person, because I don't want to put a subject on a podcast and limit what you want to talk about. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I know, like, people are going to listen to this and be like, oh, it's that guy who always sounds like he has a cold. I know exactly who that is. That's this person's brother. Like, that's always what happens. Yeah.
Well, so like for this one, for example, so this would be like, I'd call this like Nightcall episode 1, and it would be like I'd mention the 3, like 1 or 2 subjects we talk about. So we spoke about
dreams and
snails
and frogscapes,
and frog sexuality, like but we did, like, I did talk before we started recording. I did want to talk about the embarrassment, or like that embarrassment you feel when you start something new, and you start a new creative venture, which because obviously with this, I'm probably going to stop recording now and listen through this and being like, I know there's no way I want everyone to hear this thing. I'm gonna feel so embarrassed.
There's also the thing, like, say, like, if you're an artist and like your mum and dad are like, oh, what are you working on, champ? And you just have to be like, oh, you won't get it. Yeah. That's a big part of it as well. Like, you're just not going to understand what I'm doing. So I'd rather you just not look at it, or you'll just get confused. Yeah.
Well, it's like, how would you explain this to your parents who watch like daytime television and just like look at minion memes on Facebook?
This podcast?
Yeah.
I would say, okay.
How would you explain what a podcast is? If they don't know, assuming they don't know.
A podcast is, it's like you listen to a conversation, but the people who host podcasts are trained to be engaging. Yeah. So it's like sitting in on the radio with no music, like, something like that. Like you listen to podcasts because there's so many that you can listen to one that that you're really interested in, like a fishing podcast, and you can, because they're talking about what you're interested in, you're going to keep listening, because that's just how they work, right? That's how I'd explain podcasts to someone who's either never listened to a podcast before, or is like strictly like old media fed. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like it is. Yeah, it's radio, I guess, in the dumbest form. Like, it's a radio interview. It's 2 people talk, but we're not particularly, like, no one's listening to this because they're interested in either of us. I feel it's more of a listen to this because you're interested in the actual discussion. Yeah. And obviously in most podcasts, there would be themes, you know. Like, I mean, I don't even listen to many.
I don't listen to any.
I listen to Tiny Meat Gang because they're funny. It's like comedians, you know, and they just talk about stuff that I kind of like. Like, they can bounce around between like crypto, general like YouTube drama, which is always a little bit interesting, and MMA.
I feel like chemistry and charisma are key to a podcast as well. If you listen to a podcast that two people on there and they have no chemistry, or if like one of them only has charisma, it's just going to be dead.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like, I definitely do listen to them more because it's them.
Yeah.
Same with kind of the podcast that kind of inspired this idea. Joint with another thing which I can talk about as well, but there was a podcast called Podcast But Outside, and literally it is what it says on the tin. They are like comedians, but they just go outside and they have their mic set up, and then they have a third mic set up, and basically whoever walks past, they get on and just talk about anything.
Didn't they have, like, was it John Hamm?
Yeah.
For one?
Yeah. So their whole thing was that they were looking for John Hamm. They really wanted John Hamm on a podcast. It was this running joke. They're like they have these super, like, I don't know how to describe it, but just like very specific niche jokes about stuff. And one of them was that, they wanted John Hamm, and they got him like a couple months ago, and it was a good episode.
There's like an internet rumor that John Hamm has an enormous dick.
Yeah, I can see that.
Google it, like the
pause right now if you're listening. Google John Hamm dick,
because you can see it through his trousers, and I don't know if it's photoshopped or not, but there's enough of them to think that it's true.
Yeah,
that he's got a huge dick,
mate. He's repping the trouser snake.
Yeah,
I always I respect a trouser imprint. Like, I'm like, fair play, sir. If it's that obvious, I'll come and shake your hand.
Well, I'm in a relationship now, so I wear baggier trousers.
Yeah. I just wear baggy because I'm just insecure. But the podcast But Outside. So the way they do it, it's just I can't. So I normally use podcast to sleep, but they throw me off. Like, I just will be like, I'm about to nod off, and then they just do something so fucking funny that I wake myself up because it's funny, and it's like, for fuck's sake. But a mixture of them and this YouTuber, and I don't want to butcher his name, and I feel like he is named after a philosopher, but he's called Sisypheus 55. And he's like, so I'm gonna guess he's like studying philosophy or just has an intense interest in it. But he records him and a like-minded friend having these like late night chats about general philosophical perspectives. And I was like, that mixture of that and also kind of the more light-hearted and comedy sense from Podcast and Outside is what I want. Podcast But Outside is what I want this to be.
Yeah.
And I'm mostly doing it for me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the conversation we've had has been very free-flowing. We've very seamlessly gone between really different subjects, which has been like a healthy conversation.
Well, I don't want to cap the what the chat is, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to I was worried if I kind of made this specifically about philosophy or specifically about like being a kid or some like having a very specific theme, is you then end up railroading the conversation a bit.
Well, we're friends, you know, we're very close friends, and we have a lot of the same interests, which is why we're friends.
Yeah.
So before coming here, I knew that we'd have a good conversation about something that we're both interested in, because and that's what we talk about anyway.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's partly why I kind of wanted you to join me on this pilot episode, so that we had a good example of free flowing conversation.
Yeah.
And I eventually, like, I've got friends and people and acquaintances in mind, which I just would be so fascinated to sit them down and talk to them for like an hour and just see what happens. But yeah, like, especially these earlier podcasts, I think I will need to be a lot more specific with who I pick to talk to, just to keep the conversation flowing.
Would you want to moderate? Would you want to moderate it when, like, you have someone who you don't know so well and you're getting to know them through the podcast? Would you want them to, like, almost interview you about the subject that you've brought them on to talk about? Because, like, take for instance, like, sex work. You know, you bring on someone you know that does sex work, and they talk to you about it, and they'll ask you questions, or would you just let them talk and then be like, oh, so, you know, how does this work? You know, or like, do you ever get this? Like, do you know what I mean? Which way around would it be? Because it is your podcast.
Well, yeah, the way I'd kind of do it would as if, you know, when you're at a party and you meet someone and you find out that they do sex work or something like that, and then you have those itching questions and you sit down with them, and then it always promotes a conversation. I feel like, obviously, I would be very curious and ask all sorts of questions, but at the same time, I'd also want the conversation to be two-sided enough that that there would be something coming my way as well, like discussion-wise. But at the same time, like, this is obviously what I want to talk about more is, like, yeah, they're a sex worker and I'm on my podcast, but it doesn't necessarily have to be about sex work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was using that as an example.
No, obviously,
it's an interesting topic, especially for people that don't know much about it.
Well,
like me,
so I'm quite fascinated. Someone at my gym, he's recently taking an interest in philosophy, and I'm so curious to just to talk to him for like an hour and a half, because I have my own interest in philosophy. I have my own ventures into existentialism and stoicism, and I know specifically in philosophy what I like and what the reason I do my own research into it. But yeah, I'd be so fascinated to find out what he would have to say, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. And that's the point of a podcast. you want to entertain people, or else they're just not going to listen to you. And I know you're not doing this for other people to listen to you. You're doing this to, like, vent and, like, open up, I guess.
Yeah, to be honest, like, a lot of it is to just get to know the person I'm talking to, and then because this force in a day and age where people don't really talk to each other, this has forced us to have a conversation now for an hour and 5 minutes, you know? And, like, you never really quantify how long you talk to someone for.
Whenever we meet up, we're always doing something as well. So we won't have a conversation for an hour and 5 minutes. We'll be watching a film, or we've gone out for a meal, or like, you know. Or,
like, we're with a group of guys where the conversation just spins around.
Yeah.
All of us, and, like, there's no mic to your mouth, so you can just whip your phone out and scroll through Instagram instead of being part of the conversation, and, like, you dip in and out and stuff. So I guess that has that context to it. A lot of it was because, obviously, so I stopped therapy back in January. Only recently started it back up, but for a minute I was going to use podcasts as basically, like, I guess not an alternative to therapy, but kind of, because I quantify that's an hour of the day where I have to talk and have conversation with another individual about whatever I want, pretty much. So I was going to use this more as an experiment, to do this with everyone around me, you know?
Yeah.
Get to know people.
Yeah.
And if people want to listen, they want to listen, you know? And I hate my own voice, but I've had people in the Discord who would literally just be like, oh, I like listening to your voice. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I will start this podcast then.
Yeah. I submitted a piece of coursework last year, and it was like a portfolio thing, and one of the bits was a video that you had to make.
Yeah, I think I remember you saying.
I was going to voice over it, and I was like, I said to my lecturer, I was like, I hate my own voice so much that I physically can't listen to myself when I edit.
Yeah.
And she was like, just use a text to speech bot. And I was like, that's a really good idea. So I didn't use like the ones you can find. I got an old, like the old Macintosh one.
Yeah.
From like the original like Macintosh.
Yeah. The iconic.
Yeah. And she was like, that was sick. Like that was such a, when she upgraded it, she was like, you clearly, like, you didn't just use the first one. You found a really cool one. And then like, it sounded so good. But I still would have preferred to just hear you on it because it's your project.
Yeah.
But
see, well, because like for me, half the reason I've picked you is because you have a really nice bassy tonal voice.
Thanks. Yeah.
Like even like looking at the levels now, I can hear my wiry little voice is like just like tinny, and then yours is like.
I've got like 3 tones. I speak very level, and then if I'm asking a question, it kind of goes up a little bit. Like but, I don't fray from the line too much.
Yeah, very consistent.
Yeah, people don't they get a nice like B flat with me.
Just monotonal voice.
Oh, pardon me. Yeah. I'm glad to hear you say that. I might just invest in a really good microphone and
go for it. I mean, anyone. I've even just hearing it now. Anyone with a good microphone and headphones. Yeah, it's just like, ooh, that sound good.
Yeah.
You know.
But I just don't have any money.
So for now, I'm gonna just sound bad.
No, we'll get there, and you'll if by chance whatever I'm doing blows up and people listen to this, they'll figure out who I am. Yeah. Oh, it's that guy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, obviously, so I'm not going to name and shame anyone in this, but I will just drop first names in just for convenience. And if people start to because obviously a lot of it is going to be our friends listening to this.
Yeah, exactly.
So if people do listen, then they will so and so will know that I'm talking about that moment. And even when what we've mentioned so far is we know exactly what I'm talking about. And I like that. So for the sake of a lot of, I will not attach my own name to this podcast. Yeah. Obviously people will know it's me because I'll be sharing it on my socials, and feel free to do it as well. But no, I won't name and shame the individual spoken to. But to be honest, if you do know me by name, you definitely know who's come on. Yeah. And you definitely know the majority of the people we've spoken about.
Well, to be fair, but to be fair, on your Discord server, my name isn't on there.
Exactly.
So yeah.
And that would be interesting. For people who don't know who we are to listen to this and see if there's even any do people have to know us to want to listen to this? I guess that's another question as well.
Well, maybe there'll be a part 2. There'll be one coming. What actually happened? How do you end up listening to Boards of Canada? How do you both end up? I'm just a huge Warp Records fan. That's it.
Exactly. Warp Records changed my life. We could always do part. I mean, I definitely don't want this to be the only time we ever have a podcast together.
We'll give the people what they want. Exactly. If they want it.
Bring us that guy that talks about frogs.
The deep bassy guy.
Yeah, the deep bassy frog guy. Bring him back.
I bet he's really tall. He sounds like he's really tall.
I bet he looks like Jamie XX.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm trying to grow a mustache now though, so.
Oh god. No, I've just bought one of them. The Philips One Blade. I don't know if you've heard of it. Yeah. It's insane. When I first got it, I had to refrain from shaving my entire body just for the sake of using it.
I saw my older brother the other day, and
unfortunate.
Yeah, and he was like, "You've actually got a well hairy chest," and he's my older brother. Yeah, so I was like,
he's pretty hairless though. Last time I checked.
I was like, oh, yeah, I'm a real man now. I'm the big brother physically, so pipe down, little man. Yeah,
get on your stool. You know, I just have nipple hair and a snail trail, but then I shaved my nipple hair with this because I was having too much fun. And then when I'm in the shower, like I go and like clean my neck, my bicep rubs against my nipple hair and it scratches like the stubble. It's so weird. It's so funny. But no, I'm the hairless boy. You know, I'm not, and I kind of like that.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I'm streamlined.
I like the sort of like, not too much, but you know,
yeah,
it doesn't scratch. It's not like fuzzy, you know.
Yeah,
it's a nice amount. It's like a nice light rug.
You know, it's comfortable.
Yeah,
it is. I've laid on it before, and I've enjoyed it.
Hell yeah.
People lay on me, it's just a wet, dry. No, that's two different things.
It's wet and dry.
wet and dry sandpaper is my nipples right now.
Is it fine? Is it dense? Like, what's the millimeter?
I don't know what the whatever's the lowest setting.
Have you got a cork plug?
I was generally scared I'd cut my nipple off. But
you know, like you'll just get like runner's nipple. It'll just bleed for a little bit. Yeah.
Don't, I'll gag. That's disgusting. I hate. I'm not even getting into it.
That's the reason I don't run. I vividly remember getting that.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never.
It was really painful. I had to wear a plaster over like the little circle ones for a few days.
No, I've luckily never had. I've never had that. I mean, my short trail running stage a couple of years ago was fun, and most of the time, to be honest, if I was like able to, I just would run topless. It feels more enduring with the world.
Also, I remember one time I was running and then my shoulder just popped out for no reason. What? I was just like, with the arms and there, like just. Oh my god!
It just starts.
My shoulder just popped out.
Yeah,
it was so painful, and then I couldn't move my left arm for a few days.
You just fall apart.
Yeah, that's true.
So your knee pops out, doesn't it?
All the time. I broke my ankle the other month just by walking.
No.
I just rolled it slightly and I heard like a big crunch and it rolled over. Right? Oh. And I thought I sprained it. Yeah, but it blew up straight away. The next morning, it hurt so much. And it still isn't healed. I can walk in it and all that, but if I put a slight bit of pressure on the joint, I can feel it really tender.
Yeah.
So I think I actually broke it and just walked
Probably.
home. I walked home on it.
Or at least like crack or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. Something
hairline
happened.
fracture or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm falling apart. My hair is falling out. My hairline is going up really quickly.
Mate, I'm fucking terrified because I'm like taking creatine for the gym. And one of like the unsung things is that your hair falls out. And I'm already like, my dad's bald as fuck. Like, I know.
My dad's bald as fuck.
But I am like genuinely like, oh God.
Yeah.
Am I speeding up, and I bleached my hair as well. Am I speeding up the process? But at the same time, I have to. If it gets bad, I'll Jude Law it. You know, Jude Law's got those widow's peaks, and he's a beautiful person.
I mean, I've spotted some greys. I don't mind going grey. Greys are in.
Silver fox are nice,
but bald. My head is too thin to go bald. I've got a thin head and big shoulders.
Yeah, I feel like you. Like,
and you've seen me with like relatively long hair and that's it. You've never seen me with like short hair.
I've seen you when you had the short sides and a bit on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the shortest it's been in like 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did see you in like junior school.
That doesn't count. I was just getting buzz cuts.
Yeah, don't bring that up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Don't talk about that.
All the photos of like West, the nursery.
Yeah.
And like I've just got a buzz cut because my mum was like, "I'm not taking a fucking barbers. We need to eat today." Like,
now your mum's a freelance hairdresser. Early days.
Very, very good one as well.
Obviously.
Yeah.
If I could even squeeze onto her waiting list, I would, because I do miss.
Yeah.
I do miss her touching my head.
Her prices have gone up again, so.
I mean, she's so angelic. I actually never got charged for the haircuts. which is I feel so grateful for, because I can imagine my hair is terrible to cut.
No.
I really like. I remember Sassoon in London were like Asian hair. Like I have like thin.
That's what my mum said.
And like heavy. I don't even very straight.
I've got the opposite. I've got really thick, like wavy, curly hair.
I like that because it's like
it suits me.
Yeah. It's like me. It's like everyone just thinks I straighten my hair all the time.
If I keep describing myself, like people are obviously going.
Yeah,
like,
just describe your whole outfit, and they're like, "That's who it was."
So I'm wearing a top and some jeans and some socks.
Yeah, I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah,
and some socks.
I'm a little bit hot in here, and I did wear a jumper here as well.
Yeah, it's. I started to swear at the beginning of this podcast, maybe because I was just scared of talking. But
you've done it.
We've done it.
We've done it. Yeah.
We gave ourselves an hour. We're an hour 15 now.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be that guy, but I have work at 7 tomorrow.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, we got to wrap a doodle.
And I'm on the road. I'm delivering, so. Yeah.
On the road again.
I don't listen to that. I listen to that Harry Nilsson song. People always talking. I don't hear a word they're saying. Yeah, that one in the van. I like that one.
I listened to the...
So I just look out the window. I'm like...
Yeah. Up the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that song, and then like just Flying Lotus. That's it.
What are you doing in the car? I'm just listening. I'm just listening to "You Are Loved" by Forte on repeat over and over again.
We should set up a playlist just for this episode.
Yeah. So all the songs we spoke about this episode, I'll compile and put in a playlist to play as soon as we stop talking, which is going to be any second now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been great.
Yeah, and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I'm really hoping this sounds somewhat presentable. I'm literally, as soon as we start recording and I kick out my house, I have a bookmarked video how to make audio sound good in Audacity, which I'm going to watch and then figure out how to clear this audio up to make it as like radio.
Well, there's no like interference and there's no like choppiness. You just need, so you don't need to enhance it. You know what I mean? Just
I just want the levels to be tidy. You know.
Yeah.
And we have a theme song as well.
Oh, sick!
So
nice.
I gave my friend Joe, goes by Casa, I think, on SoundCloud, just in case this goes viral and he needs. I will shout him out anyway but he. I popped up to him and I was like, "Here's a Boys Canada song I like, and the name of the podcast is called Nightcall. Give us anything.
Yeah.
I'm poor. I can't give you anything. If you want to do something, if it's like a 20-second snip." And he gave us something that's really good. So
sound nice.
That'll play us in before. But thank you for being here. And I hope this sounds okay. And I hope I don't hate myself when I listen to this back.
I'll do it for you if you want. I'll do your channel and you can do my channel.
Yeah.
And then I'll send it to you and then we're good to go.
All right.
That was it, yeah.
That's it.
Vamos.
We'll
see you
stop
later,
that.
man.
We won't let it get to 1 minute 20. Shalom.
Yeah, bye-bye.